Thank you for accessing this video. This video explains Chapter 12 of Water Tariff and Collection from the Manual for DPHE to support Porsche on O&M of Piped Water Supply System. This video was created based on the training material used in the training of trainers for the PICMAC DPHE Phase 2 project supported by JICA. This module covers page number is from P12-1 to P12-16. Today we will learn about points on the operation and maintenance for water tariff and collection in Porsche piped water supply schemes. Let us begin by understanding what water tariff is and why it is essential for safe drinking water supply. By the end of this session, you will be able to understand the basic knowledge of water tariff collection in piped water supply systems. Recognize the risks involved in water tariff collection. Identify necessary actions for supporting Porshevas. The session will proceed in two parts. Starting from providing knowledge of the basic theory, this is important because a solid understanding of the principles allows you to solve problems more easily. Then we will see what points should be confirmed for sound water tariff management. Let's begin the basic theory. Water user contract with the Porsche and pay water charges for their water use. There are two common methods of water billing. The first is the water meter type, where charges depend on the amount of water used. Water consumption is measured by a meter installed on the supply pipe. The second is the flat rate type, where a fixed charge is applied for a certain period, regardless of water usage. Here is a simple flow of water charge collection. For the water meter type, water charges are calculated based on the user's meter reading, and a bill is issued to the user. For the flat rate type, water usage is not considered. Instead, the charge is determined by the connection to the water supply and the diameter of the service pipe. Recently, payment methods have become more diversified. In addition to cash, bank transfers and mobile payments such as bKash are now widely used. Water meters are applied in some Porshevas in Bangladesh, however, they are mainly used for commercial facilities with high water consumption and are not widely used by individual users. The use of water meters contributes not only to fair water tariff collection but also to understanding water consumption and detecting leakages. In order for Porshevas to increase water tariff revenue, it is important to promote the installation of water meters and ensure their proper operation. There are several types of water meters, and the characteristics of each are introduced here. The most commonly used type is the impeller type. It receives the flow of water with an impeller, and the flow rate is measured based on the rotation speed. It is highly accurate, but its structure is complex, so repair can be difficult when it breaks down. It is available in a wide range of sizes, from small to large diameters, and is widely used in both industrial facilities and households. The electromagnetic type measures the flow rate by detecting the voltage generated when fluid flows through a magnetic field inside the pipe. It offers very high accuracy, and since there is no physical contact with the fluid, there is no pressure loss. However, its disadvantages are high initial cost and electricity consumption. Ultrasonic type can be installed out of pipes without pipe cutting. It uses ultrasonic wave to measure flow. Initial cost is high, but it is useful for temporary survey. Orifice or Venturi type is a method of measuring flow rate by utilizing differential pressure. The pressure gap is made by diameter reduction with orifice plate or Venturi, using Bernoulli's theorem for flow rate calculation. The structure is simple, not much failure occurred and it doesn't need electric power, but the accuracy is relatively low. Recently, the use of smart meters has been expanding. A smart meter is a conventional meter equipped with a function to transmit data to a server. Since real-time flow data is automatically sent to the operator's data cloud, there is no need for meter readers to conduct on-site inspections, and billing can be carried out accurately based on actual water consumption. In addition, water users and customer service center staff can also access the data. As it uses radio wave communication, it can operate even when network connectivity is interrupted. There are two categories of charges for the water meter type, the basic rate and the meter rate. The basic rate is a fixed charge collected regardless of water consumption and varies depending on the meter diameter. This rate includes the cost of installing the meter itself, as well as expenses related to meter reading and management. In addition to the basic rate, a meter rate is charged. This rate varies according to the volume of water used. It includes operation and maintenance costs such as electricity and chemicals required for water supply. This is an example of a tariff table for the meter type. In most bourgeois, tariff structures are generally categorized in this manner. As shown, the basic rate increases as diameter becomes larger, while the meter rate is structured so that the unit price increases as water consumption increases. For a residential half pipe, the basic rate is 300 tak, and the unit price per cubic meter increases as consumption rises. Commercial users are charged higher basic rates starting at 400 tak and higher unit prices compared to residential users. The increasing block tariff is a system where the unit price of water increases as consumption goes up. The dual purpose of this system is to support low-income and vulnerable households by keeping basic usage affordable, while encouraging water conservation by charging large users higher rates. It also serves as an incentive for small-scale users to install meters. This section outlines the pros and cons of implementing a metered system. Metering enables fair tariffs based on actual water consumption, benefiting small and low-income users and promoting water conservation through increasing block tariffs. It also supports leak detection, estimation of non-revenue water, NRW, and improved operational efficiency through consumption data analysis. However, metered systems involve high initial and ongoing maintenance costs, increased manpower for meter reading and data management, and may face resistance from large or affluent users due to perceived tariff increases. In the flat rate system, tariffs are set based solely on the service pipe diameter and the type of customer such as residential, commercial, or industrial. Generally, smaller pipe diameters have lower settings, while commercial and industrial users are charged significantly higher monthly fees. This section reviews the flat rate system, the most common approach in bourgeois. Its main advantages are simplicity and low operating costs, as no meters are required. Billing is easy to manage based on pipe size and customer category, and fixed fees provide users, especially low-income households, with predictable expenses. However, flat rate tariffs encourage water waste, lack fairness between small and large users, and limit revenue growth for system maintenance and investment. In addition, the absence of meter data makes leak detection extremely difficult, posing risks to long-term service sustainability. Economic efficiency depends on how a system incentivizes user behavior. Flat-rate systems provide no incentive to save water because the fee remains fixed regardless of consumption. In contrast, metered systems use pricing to signal resource value. The increasing block tariff is the most efficient model. By raising the unit price as usage grows, it creates a powerful financial motivation for users to conserve water. Other metered types, such as uniform or decreasing block tariffs, are less effective at promoting active resource management. Billing in a metered system begins with an accurate reading. The numeric dial shows accumulated usage. To find the monthly consumption, you subtract the previous reading from the current reading. Readings are typically conducted once a month. Looking at the meter display, the digits on the black background represent cubic meters, while the red pointers indicate smaller unit volume. For example, if the reading shows 116.129 cubic meters, you will use the relevant billable units to calculate the monthly charge. Smart meters also display usage in cubic meters and liters, but the data is sent automatically to the data center, removing the need for physical site visits. Furthermore, water users can often check their own usage and projected bills directly through a smartphone application. The total bill is calculated as consumption times unit price plus basic rate. Because of the volume of data, using software is recommended. If a meter is inaccessible or malfunctioning, the rate is typically calculated based on the average consumption of the previous 3 months. On the other hand, calculation is not required for flat-rate systems. There are 4 primary distribution methods. 1. Paper-based, physical delivery of bills for bank or counter payment. 2. Digital invoicing, checking and paying via platforms like bKash. 3. Smart platforms, tracking usage and payment via mobile apps. 4. Hybrid system, a combination of paper and digital methods tailored to the local digital environment. The POSHWA Water Supply Guideline 2023 outlines a strict procedure for arrears. A recommendation letter is issued at 1 month overdue, a demand letter at 2 months, and a water stop notice at 3 months. If payment is still not made within a final 15-day deadline, the supply is stopped. Additionally, a 5% penalty is imposed for late payments. Designing a water tariff requires balancing financial sustainability with social responsibility, with the main goal of achieving full cost recovery to cover investment and all O&M costs. When setting tariffs, POSHWAs must consider operational costs, system depreciation, and long-term inflation. Tariffs are not fixed permanently and, under the POSHWA Water Supply Guideline 2023, must be reviewed every 2 years or as needed through a regulated approval process to ensure transparency and accountability. Social considerations are equally important, particularly affordability and willingness to pay. The World Bank recommends that water bills should not exceed 5% of household income, as tariffs set too high can reduce collection rates, while tariffs set too low may fail to cover costs. Effective tariff design also differentiates user categories, with higher charges for commercial and industrial users to subsidize residential and low-income households, while supporting demand management and sustainable water use. Drinking water is recognized globally as a basic human right, and there are situations where certain water users simply cannot manage to pay the standard fees. In such cases, the water tariff may be reduced or entirely waived to ensure that these vulnerable populations maintain access to essential water services. The guidelines specify 4 primary categories of users who are eligible for these special exemptions or reductions. 1. Low-income households. Eligibility is determined if household income falls below a certain criteria, which may vary from one municipality to another. 2. Elderly and disabled. This category includes households with persons usually aged 60 or older or those with disabilities. The degree of disability and the specific income status are taken into account during the evaluation process. 3. Emergencies. Temporary fee exceptions are provided for households whose incomes have been drastically reduced due to natural disasters such as floods or cyclones. 4. Specific vulnerable groups. This includes orphans, widows, or other socially marginalized groups who require support to maintain their water connection. The collection rate is perhaps the most important indicator for ensuring revenue and the long-term sustainability of water services. It is calculated using the following formula: collected actual tariff over billed tariff times 100. It is critical to understand that this is a percentage based on the total amount of money claimed, not a percentage of the number of invoices issued or the number of people who paid. To calculate billed tariff, the total billings sum from metered readings and flat rate systems based on pipe diameters. Collected actual tariff is the sum of all actual payments recorded from each individual water user. Ensuring a high collection rate is vital for the sustainability of water services, as any decrease directly impacts the revenue needed for system management. Currently, the collection rate in Bangladesh is relatively low, at around 70%, while the target should be at least 90%. To bridge this gap, we must understand the specific challenges and implement effective solutions. There are several key factors that hinder effective tariff collection. Payment delays and unpaid bills. Frequent late payments significantly lower collection rates. The issue of unpaid bills is particularly high among low-income water users. Limited meter coverage. A lack of comprehensive water meter installation makes it difficult for the POSHWA to track water usage accurately for billing. Lack of payment diversity. Having too few options for how to pay reduces administrative efficiency and makes it less convenient for users to settle their accounts. To overcome these challenges, the following strategies and countermeasures should be implemented. Promoting digital payments, introducing diverse and easy methods such as mobile money, example bKash, and online platforms, allows for anytime, anywhere payments, which helps smooth the collection process. Applying late fees and penalties. clearly announcing and enforcing penalties, such as the 5% penalty for late payments described in the LGD guidelines, encourages users to comply with deadlines. Strengthening collection efforts. Porshwas must strengthen their systems for sending regular notifications and reminders specifically to unpaid users to increase the urgency of payment. Public relations and awareness. Launching awareness campaigns via media, SNS, and water education is essential. These campaigns should promote timely payment while clearly explaining the necessity of penalties for non-compliance. By combining better payment technology with strict enforcement and public education, Porshwas can move closer to the target and ensure a stable financial future for their water supply systems. From now, we will move to the confirmation points part. This section explains how to diagnose revising tariff condition and how to evaluate tariff collection rate correctly. While maximizing revenue is a goal, revising the water tariff involves a delicate balance and significant risk. Porshwas must analyze the financial capacity of their customers before implementing a hike. If the tariff is too high, the collection rate may drop as residents become unwilling or unable to pay, which can actually lead to a decrease in total revenue. If the tariff is too low, the collection rate might be high, but the overall revenue will be insufficient to cover operational expenses. To minimize these risks, Porshwas must analyze specific data before making a decision. The necessary data are here. Customers' financial capacity. A clear understanding of the water sector's income versus its expenditure is required. According to World Bank standard, water bills should account for a maximum of 5% of household income. Any revision requires consensus within the Porshwa Council and approval by a committee that includes the executive engineer and the district office of DPHE. The goal is always to ensure that income remains greater than expenditure. As action and countermeasure for the tariff revision, process must follow the Porshwa Water Supply Guideline 2023. The price of water should be reviewed and revised every 2 years or as necessary. Any revision requires a consensus within the Porshwa Council. Furthermore, it must be approved by a concerned committee, which includes members such as the executive engineer and the district office of the DPHE. By adhering to the 5% income standard and ensuring a transparent approval process every 2 years, Porshwas can maintain a fair system that supports both the community and the long-term O&M of the water supply. The primary risk associated with collection rate is that a decrease in the collection rate causes a significant negative impact on water supply management. This is because the rate directly affects the total revenue available to the Porshwa, and any shortfall depletes the funds necessary for daily operations and maintenance. To accurately monitor performance, management must track the specific water tariff collection rate percentage. When evaluating the health of the system, the tariff collection rate should be at least 90%. In the context of Bangladesh, this is a major area for improvement, as current values are often lower, averaging around 70%. To bridge the gap between the current status and the 90% target, Porshwas should implement the following actions and countermeasures. Awareness campaigns. Launch campaigns that promote the importance of timely payment and clearly explain the penalties involved for non-compliance. Late fees and penalties. Make public announcements regarding fines for unpaid bills to create a culture of discipline and encourage compliance with deadlines. Notifications and reminders. Strengthen the collection process by sending regular reminders and formal notifications specifically to water users with outstanding balances. Convenient payment options. Increase the diversity of payment methods by introducing electronic and mobile money payments such as bKash to make it easier for users to pay anytime, anywhere. By focusing on these 4 pillars: risk awareness, accurate data tracking, high targets, and proactive countermeasures, Aporshva can ensure a stable financial future for its piped water supply system. This is the end of the video. Thank you for watching and I hope this video will help you understand the manual better.